Hi, how are you? And it's lovely to be with you. I'm going to walk you through the business astrology, and there's a fair bit to work through because the focus for this new moon and for Venus entering Capricorn, it's all about finances. There's no two ways about it. On the 25th of November, Venus is going to enter Capricorn, and so the focus is going to be right on the money. And it's going to be we're going to get really serious about income, we're going to get really serious about our business, we're going to get really serious about finances, and we're also going to get really serious about our business relationships and our relationships to customers. So how are they working? Is it working? What don't we like? Where do we need to go with this? And all of the stuff that's been happening leading up to this, all the eclipses, all of the retrogrades, all of these trigger points between Saturn, which is very much about business, and triggering Neptune, which is very much about dreams and loves and desire. All of these things that have been happening is to get us ready for us to start working out strategically what we want to be doing for the next 10 years and how we want to be showing up for the next 10 years. And one of the things that we can't get away from when it comes to finances is it's essential for us to be financially able to live the life we want to lead. And that's not always easy for us to do in the field that we've chosen to be in and in the life that circumstances place us in. And now we're starting to get super serious about what do we want from our finances? What do we want from our lives? How are we making our money? Are we actually being successful in our own minds, in our own heart and soul? And are we setting ourselves up, and are we comfortable with how we're working with the people we're working with? And that the people we're working with can be our partnerships, in terms of our business partnerships. Do they value us? Is it equal? Are we getting the money back? And it can also be our value relationships to people around us who are, if you like, in the infrastructure around us. Are they supporting us? Is it working for us? And even to the point of, do I enjoy working with my clients? Am I working with the right clients? Or do I even need to shift my focus and my client base and redefine that? So there's a lot of serious thinking that's taking place. The trigger for the serious thinking has been all of this other stuff we've been doing before about what we want, what we expect, how we need to be respected in our lives, and taking that forward. Now, the new moon is being called the chaos moon. It's about, and we're talking chaotic change and rebellion. Now, this is interesting having these two together. So the chaotic change is where in a new moon things might end or new things may start. Now, if we've been doing the work and slowly moving towards it, those changes are not going to be a surprise. We might necessarily be understanding everything that's happening to us, but it may not be a surprise what's happening to us. The rebellion is going to come when we are going to be finding ourselves placed in situations which we feel are limiting, which we feel are devaluing us, which we feel are not giving us the return that we need, or we feel that they are taking away our freedoms to be expressive of who we want to be, and that'll be some elements of rebellion. Now, it's going to be really important how you handle that rebellion and whether you can handle it in a constructive way and have a constructive discussion with your business partners about changing certain aspects, or even having a discussion with your customers about changing certain aspects. And sometimes having that discussion with customers is really a lot tougher than having that discussion with your business partners. Now, the reason this new moon is going to be as potent as it is in allowing us to enact and reshape our business is because it's got really strong links to Mars. And Mars is both the god of war, but it's also the god. Remember, most wars were either about religion or business, and they were definitely about building empires, and empires were all based on strategy and business. So God is the God of war, is also in many ways the God of business, and that's Mars. So it's going to be pushing you to be quite aggressive about what you want, and in some ways I think that's a really good thing. It's not the act, it's actually not the I was going to say how to say this. It's okay to be aggressive. It's how we act the aggression through and the integrity behind that action. So aggression doesn't have to necessarily be us having a war, but aggression certainly needs to be us showing ourselves from a position of strength. And that's where we really need to be, in this full sense of ourselves as having the strength, and having that, and strength comes from a really good sense of self-value. And whether that self-value is about the work you're doing, or your self-value is about your personal enactment of yourself, it doesn't matter, but it's having that strength. And so that's what we need to be really thinking about and acting with. And of course, Uranus is some people see it as the planet of opportunity. Some people see it as the planet of chaos. But remember, within chaos, there's always opportunity for progress. And that's the mindset I want you to have with this, that within the chaos, there's the opportunity for growth, there's the opportunity for development, and there's the opportunity for you to start building and having elements of success. So don't be too worried about the chaos that's going to be hopefully around you, not within you. We're also going to be starting to move into a solar eclipse. Now, you know, solar eclipses are really big boosters. So what we're looking at is really taking some time out to be quite strategic about thinking. And if you're strategic about thinking, it means you're thinking through strategy A, B, C, and D, and evaluating all the different ways that it can work together. Now, last discussion, I was asking you to go out and talk to other people about your business, and not just talk to people within your tribe. Go and get some counter views to your thinking, and get someone perhaps to give you a little push or a little shock, because what we were seeing last time was there was something holding us back and we didn't know what it was. I'm hoping now we've been given some insights into that, and we are feeling comfortable to start going forward with that new knowledge and that new learning. Now, at the same time that we're going to be having this new moon, which is also going to be in Mars opposite Uranus, so they're going to be triggering, is the Sun is also going to be triggering Uranus. And that's going to be us thinking and forcing us to think, and think in alternatives. Think alternatives, options, different viewpoints. And if you don't believe a viewpoint that someone's given you, just do a little test, and in your mind put that in as a belief. This is a fact, this is the truth, and just follow that through and see the implications of, if this is true and this is counter to what I'm understanding, what then happens to my business or the work that I'm doing or the project that I'm putting forward, if this is the case. So don't stop exploring someone else's opinion just because we don't like it. We have a tendency to do that, but that's just not what we're being asked to do. The other thing that we're being asked to do is stay in our lane. Now, I don't mean this to be contradictory. I want you to grow, and maybe you expand your lane, or maybe you shift the course of your lane, but stay in your lane. What I mean by that is, don't get into other people's businesses. You might be tempted, but this is not a time for you to rescue other people. This is a time for you to be thinking about how you're going forward and moving your own business, your own ideas, your own strategies forward within your operations. That's what this is about, and that's what I mean by stay in your lane. Don't get distracted. There's going to be noise. There's going to be a little bit of chaos. Some people are going to fall off their perches because they haven't done the work and they haven't reinforced that little limb they've gone out on. I don't want you to throw dirt in their face, but don't feel you have to rush over and catch them either. You can brush them off when they've landed, perhaps, but don't feel you have to go over and catch them. This is not a nurturing new moon. And Venus is going into Capricorn, and Venus is about love, and it is about, but it's all about value. And so this is also about taking what we value forward. And so you are nurturing yourself, you're nurturing your dream, you're nurturing your desire, you're nurturing your business. But it's not a time to be nurturing someone else's business. It's time for you to be thinking about you. Unless, of course, your business is nurturing other people's businesses. But even then, time to be thinking about your business. So the last thing that's going to happen is Neptune goes direct in Pisces. Now, Neptune is about spirituality and love, which is going to sit very nice with Venus going into Capricorn. So they're going to be, Neptune will be working with Venus. So there'll be some nurturing and some thinking, but it's in Capricorn. So it's about the physical plane. So it's about how we're showing up in the physical plane. The other aspect of that is it will be about dreams, which is lovely. Neptune is the planet, so it's going into its own house. Pisces is the house of Neptune. Neptune is planet of Pisces, the ruling planet. So it's going to be very, very comfortable. And it's happening at the same time as the new moon. So it's lovely for taking things direct. So what it is going to be doing though, because it's coming out of retrograde, is it means we're going to be a situation to be finishing off relationships and finishing off our review of relationships. Now, when I say relationships, we tend to think about relationships with other people, and that's valid. But it might also be your relationship to certain aspects of your life. It might be your relationship, and it certainly is going to be your relationship to money and your relationship to success and how that's being defined. So it's a time of redefining that, definitely, and putting some actions in around that definition or that redefining. And there might be some things, and this is really what I think it's about. There's going to be some things that, or some beliefs, some activities, some actions that we've held dear and that we've believed in or that we've taken on, maybe from necessity, maybe from belief, maybe from the past, and now we're being asked to face that with a great deal of honesty and make some clear decisions about whether that relationship and how we're currently attaching ourselves energetically to a certain aspect of our work is still valid. And is it rewarding us? Because Venus is all about reward as well. And that's something we need to be thinking about. So we might find ourselves getting a little bit detached from certain elements of our business that before we thought were essential and vital. And we might find ourselves wanting to very much shift how we go about doing that piece of business in our life, or that piece of work in our business or at work. So it's a time for us to make those changes. But fundamentally, this is strategy. This is setting us up for the long game. And this is where we need to be thinking about and how we need to be thinking about. Okay, there we are. I'll do the tarot. I'm really interested to see what the tarot is saying, because the last tarot was definitely saying, let go, let go, let go, let go, and we were still holding on to it. And I think what we're doing now is choosing, redefining, refining, and choosing. Okay, take care and talk with you soon. Bye-bye.